Guys, we're on our lesson 5 application problem in our math workbooks, page 159. Okay, we're going to make sure we read the problem very carefully. This word carefully is so important, right? We have to make sure that we are really paying attention to what the question is asking us. Then we're going to draw it, and then we're going to write and solve it. Okay, so my problem for today says Rita has 19 more pennies than Carlos. Rita has 27 pennies. How many pennies does Carlos have? Okay, so there are a few things that we already know from this problem. We know that Rita has 19 more pennies than Carlos. We know she has 27 pennies, but we don't know how many Carlos has. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a tape diagram to figure out how I can solve this, right? I know Rita has more than Carlos. So her tape diagram is going to go on the top, and hers is definitely going to be longer because she has 19 more than him. We know she has 27. And we know she has 19 more than what Carlos has, but we don't know how many Carlos has yet, right? We're gonna solve for this missing piece to figure out how many he has. So we're trying to find the difference between these two numbers, right? We know she has 27 and she has 19 more than what Carlos has. So whatever these two numbers are together is gonna add up to 27. Okay, so I know when I see this type of problem or this type of tape diagram, I'm gonna have to subtract, right? I'm trying to solve this missing piece. Then when I go back, I can always check my work and make sure that these two numbers added up together give me 27. So I know my two parts are 27 minus 19, and I'm gonna do subtraction. I'm gonna always start in the ones place. So I can't do 7 minus 9, I don't have enough. So I'm gonna borrow from my tens place. This is gonna become a 1. This will become 17. 17 minus 9 gives me 8. Okay, so right now I found out that Carlos has 8 pennies. Now what I can do to double check my work and make sure that I'm correct, right? I can add this number, 19, and this should be 8 together to see if I get 27. So I'm gonna do 19 plus 8. Right, we're doing the inverse, right? This shows me the inverse of subtraction is addition, right? The inverse just means the opposite. So once my screen unfreezes, then we can solve this. So I'm gonna do 19 plus 8. Hold on one second. Okay, so my camera decided to stop working, but we can keep going. So I'm gonna just double check my work, and I'm gonna add 19 and 8 together and make sure that I get 27. So 9 plus 8, I know gives me 17. I'm gonna put the 7 in the one space, carry my 10. 10 plus 1 10 gives me 2 10s. So if I check my work, right, I know that when I add these numbers back together, it gives me 27. So I know that that means Carlos has 8 pennies. So on the back, when it says write a statement that matches the story, we're gonna write Carlos has 8 pennies. So make sure that you have this sentence written in on the next side of your page, on page 160, so that you make sure that you solve all the parts of the problem. Okay, check, guys.